A bombshell report from CBS News shows Governor Gavin Newsom extorting the backers of an anti-crime initiative, threatening them and bullying them. Coming up, we'll tell you what Sacramento Democrats are doing in the name of protecting criminals. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. And is there any question? California is suffering from a massive crime wave. We've covered it on this channel. And if you take a look at any story in the news, you'll see crime and grime, property crime and violent crime up dramatically in the state of California. And that's why citizens are rebelling. They want safer communities, and a coalition of district attorneys and law enforcement advocates and crime victim advocates have put a very common sense initiative forward, collected signatures to force a public vote on an initiative to give police and prosecutors back the power to arrest and punish criminals. Well, that doesn't sit well, obviously, with the criminals, but it also doesn't sit well with the protectors of the criminals. I'm talking about Governor Gavin Newsom and liberal Democrats in Sacramento who control our state legislature. Before we get on to the bombshell report from CBS showing that Newsom has been caught using extortion tactics, and of course, members of the state legislature also are openly trying to extort the voters on this ballot initiative, let me just review some of the example crimes from the headlines in the last 24 hours. First, you can't make this up. Shocking video shows smash and grab bandits overwhelm California jewelry store in a big heist. It happened in Sunnyvale, California. 20 suspects used hammers and other tools to break into jewelry cases at P&G Jewelers USA. This is a common occurrence, and it's being caught on tape. Here's a still photo. Look at all those hoodlums. You'd think that there's a big sale going on. Oh, well, it's everything's free. Well, if you live in California, when politicians allow this sort of garbage to happen. Notice how it's in broad daylight. Broad daylight, this is happening. Insane. What could be worse than this? Well, you thought you have seen it and heard it all. But how about a Secret Service agent robbed at gunpoint during President Biden's recent trip to Southern California? Oh, you can't make this crap up. It is absolute fitting that Joe Biden comes to the crime-infested state of California, where his party is solely responsible for the soaring crime, where California is under one-party control. Democrats have enacted Prop 47, which is catch and release. We no longer actually prosecute criminals. Prop 57 is early release for prisoners, violent prisoners from state prisons. And of course, we have a major recruitment retention crisis in our police force because California Democrats have completely changed the use of force standards and liability reviews for police officers, putting police officers in harm's way, both physically and legally. His Democrat Party has caused all that in California. And that's why in California, we've got double-digit increases in property crime, whereas in the rest of the country, property crime and violent crime are flat or declining. We also have major increases, 9% in violent crime in the past year. We're an outlier. California's crime wave is unique to California because we coddle the criminals. So Biden comes to California, and one of his loyal Secret Service agents, a guy hired to put his life on the line for the politicians, he's robbed at gunpoint. Well, Biden is in California raising millions of dollars for his moribund presidential campaign. It happened in Tustin, and it happened at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, June 15th, this past weekend. And his bag was stolen. The Secret Service agent's bag was stolen at gunpoint. Welcome to California. So this is why California voters are rebelling, and they want to see reform. They want to repeal a lot of Prop 47. And so they signed the petition to put this common sense initiative on the ballot, and we were going to have a vote in November on this initiative. But the Democrats are bullying the district attorneys and law enforcement coalition that placed this on the ballot, sponsoring it. And they've said, look, we're going to oppose you tooth and nail unless you do what we want. Governor Gavin Newsom's office, according to CBS News, here is the story, emailed the backers of Prop 47 Reform Initiative, or as I call it, Make Crime Illegal Again Initiative, emailed them saying that the governor will absolutely steadfast oppose them, will not negotiate, will not dialogue, will not entertain any sort of changes or reforms or concessions until the district attorneys first announce and commit that they're withdrawing their ballot measure entirely and holding off until 2026. Talk about a gun to the head. Talk about extortion. Imagine this. Extortion politically being used in the context of an anti-crime initiative. How apropos. But Newsom's not the only one extorting. The Democrats in the state legislature are trying to extort the voters. They're trying to put poison pills into some common sense refinements they're doing on crime issues. Poison pills designed to punish voters if they pass the Prop 47 repeal or reform initiative in November. The poison pills would basically reverse any of these common sense reforms that are placed into the initiative. Even the LA Times editorialized that this was a shameful bullying tactic designed to give the Attorney General in the state of California the ability to say on the ballot title for this initiative that it will repeal criminal sanctions. That's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to gaslight the public. And they're trying to extort voters saying, well, if you vote for the Prop 47 reforms that make crime illegal again, well, then these other crimes will no longer be illegal, or these penalties will no longer be assessed to criminals. Absolutely insane. Look, at Reform California, we don't take kindly to bullying and intimidation and extortion. We think that that's what's wrong with our government. We think that voters should be able to vote to amend and repeal and reform Prop 47 and give police and prosecutors back their tools to arrest and punish criminals. If you agree that we should not be kowtowing or caving in to Newsom and his extortion and Democrats and their threats, then join this campaign now. Let's go right to the ballot in November. Let's not bother trying to negotiate with a corrupt system that is hell-bent on protecting criminals at your expense, at the victim's expense. Go onto our website, reformcalifornia.org, and click under our campaign for Restore Public Safety. On that site, you will see a summary of the Prop 47 and Prop 57 problems, as well as the reforms that we're trying to advance, common sense reforms with the Make California Illegal Again initiative in California. Make a contribution on that site to our efforts to pass Prop 47 reforms at reformcalifornia.org. Click under the Restore Public Safety campaign, and you can get to that. Plus, remember, we have our voter guide out to elect common sense sheriffs and district attorneys who will enforce the law. Plus, new legislators who won't extort voters and threaten them on common sense reforms like the Prop 47 amendments. Go on and sign up to get our voter guide in the November election. It's at the bottom of the page right there. First name, last name, email, phone, and zip code. Look, Gavin Newsom, shame, shame, shame. Shame on you for trying to extort the voters, punish the voters, threaten the voters, and extort the coalition of district attorneys and law enforcement advocates who are just trying to protect our communities from these rampant criminal enterprises. We have had enough, and it's time for voters to speak. It's time for voters to take back their safety and take back their state. Join the fight at reformcalifornia.org. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.